there before you. She went to her car to pick up her wallet, told the cashier that she forgot her wallet in the car, and the cashier told her, as soon as you get your wallet, just come back to the front. You don't know that story. All you know is the story of this woman coming to the front of the line and butting in front of you, and you feeling resentful.
Because that's her friend. I just know.
Right. I just know that that's her friend. Or they speak the same language. They speak in that blah, blah, blah language. And so she saw her and knew she spoke the blah, blah language. So she let her go before me. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm the only one that washes dishes in my house. Now, mind you, the truth is, and I had to reflect on it, I only wash it 90% of the time. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But your truth fits your belief. But remember, it's always one-sided. And this is how we deal with anger.
Because you do something and somebody don't appreciate it, they resent you.
You start resenting it. I cooked this big meal, and everybody showed up late. My food's cold now. Nobody appreciated that I cooked dinner. Right? Anybody? Ever felt like that? You cook a big dinner, you invite everybody to come over, they either didn't show up, or they came late, and my food's ruined. And you develop resentment. But is it really about the food? What is inside? What is it really about? Anybody had it? What is that about? It's not about the food.
No consideration.
Not feeling appreciated. You're not feeling appreciated.
But could it
Yes?
be your own insecurity?
Of course, it's an inside job. It's your mind.
Yeah, it's the insecurity.
You're creating a story that people don't appreciate you. You're creating a story that you're not respected. You're creating the story that the person who went in front of you is her friend. Or she speaks that blah blah language, so that's why they connect.
Because your mind tell you that.
Or they don't like me. That's why they don't invite me places. It might be true.
It's not necessarily true.
But it may not be true.
Yeah.
Maybe you're doing this all the time when you're around them, and they feel you don't want to be a part of them.
But you know what? Sometimes it's true though. I've been in this before, and I can see me standing there first,
Yes.
and then because she can't really understand English completely, or her, or him. Then when somebody Spanish comes in, they start having this conversation like I was never there.
Yes.
You know. Now sometimes that does cause anger.
Yes.
But the thing is, but it's not my inside anger. It's the fact that you really disrespected me.
Yes.
They just pulled up in a car.
Yes.
They're walking to the same store.
Yes.
And because you having a hard time understanding my English, you're gonna just jump to this customer?
Before me. So that's a classic example. So sometimes it's a story that's only half truth, as we talked, but sometimes there is full truth in it. I really don't like you, and that's why I don't invite you. But I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to be mean. I just won't invite you. I won't have that conversation. And there is truth in it. But it's the feeling I'm working with. This feeling that you get that boils up inside of you, that ends up exploding on the outside.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not exploding in the, well, sometimes it explodes in the store with the lady and say, I was here before you. And then we turn into Karen. And then Karen acts really bad, but we don't want to be a Karen.
No, the 40-year-old me, the 40 and under-year-old me,
Yes.
wouldn't have done that. The person beyond that now, I just say, where's your manager?
Okay.
I do it another way.
Love it. Love it. So let's go to solution base. I love that. That starts our talk about solutions. Anger is an emotion.
Yeah. I had one good one too.
Yes.
Not being on time.
Time.
That's my pet peeve.
Yes. So I know you hating on me. She says her pet peeve is time management.
Well, people like you, I give you
30 minutes.
Oh, I get 30. I feel good. That's a little much for me. I appreciate you though. But you have things that you feel are valuable. There's certain things that you value. And we're coming back to where anger comes from. There's certain things we value. We value maybe people saying, I like your food. We value people showing up on time. We value people acknowledging us. I'm standing right here. Don't you see me before this other lady? We value acknowledgement. But when it doesn't show up, anger develops and builds the things we value. I value an empty sink. That's really important to me. Don't ask me why. It has something to do with childhood problems. But
I like an empty sink.
But it's a value.
All the time.
But here's what we're going to do to solve problems. How is the person from Earth going to know what you value? You have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. And that is what we as a society must insist upon now. Not fight about it, not shoot about it, not yell about it, not scream about it, not medicate about it, because there are plenty of people angry and drinking themselves into oblivion, you know, or doing other drugs to work out the anger. But people have to communicate. We have to talk. We have to get back to a place where we could talk about things and work towards solutions. Great answer. I felt the cashier was disrespectful to me because she did not acknowledge me. And in fact, she showed prejudice towards me. I need to have a conversation with you. You speak with the manager and you expect action. But one of the things we don't do very well is a thing called follow through. Follow through. So we have the conversation with the manager and we get out the anger, but did we solve a problem? Because some people say talk don't mean anything. Does talking mean anything? Talking is only step one. I always talk about the plan. You identify that, hey, look, you know, I have this, I don't know, it's something I had from childhood about dishes. Hey, babe, let's talk about this. I tell you what, I'm going to always wash the dishes because it's something I personally have issues with. But if the dishwasher is available, could you put it in the dishwasher? That would really help me. Because this is just something I like. I don't put my value on him or to the kids. I don't make it their problem because they don't have a problem with dirty dishes. They have no problem with it. I'm the one that value an empty sink. But I'm having a conversation that this is valuable to me. This is important to me. And here's a solution. Can we work with this solution? Maybe if there's dishes in sink, would you put them in the washer? And if it's not, I'm going to be the go-to person to wash. And I accept that responsibility. And the final things, we need some follow through. This is where we have failed as a country. I'm going to go there. This is where we failed as a country. Maybe starting in our homes and our communities and our towns. We elect people to office, okay? And we don't keep a report card until the next election when they come around, and then we dig up what they didn't do. Well, that's too late. We need a midterm, we need a quarterly report card, we need a semester report card, we need a third quarter report card. How are we doing here? 6 months after I made the request for my dishes? Hey babe, you know, I'm really working with this dish issue, but I noticed we're still in the same place. What needs to be done differently that I can get what I value? What, maybe the dishwasher issue is not gonna work. You got any other plans?
She said I paid the bill.
Okay, there's one.
That's one.
That's a solution. Disposable plates, that's a solution. That may be a solution.
Yeah, that's a solution, but what about the pots and pans you're looking at?
Okay?
That's not a limit, you still gotta watch.
At least we get part of it. That's part of the plan.
Partial.
That's part of a plan. But we're developing a plan and we're evaluating the plan. You know, I'm always telling you, you gotta evaluate. You gotta do some follow-up,
Okay.
right? No follow-up, just because you had a conversation, don't make it golden. Let's talk about talking to the manager in the store. So you go back to the store another time, and if the same thing occurs, it's time for another conversation. But then you need a plan. If this behavior continues, I will no longer shop at your store. I have that choice.
Take away my support.
And not only will I take my support away, I'll make it known to all my family and friends
Then they would come here no more.
that we won't have this kind of support for this establishment. It's a plan, but it needs a follow-up. And we move this feeling into something useful as opposed to something vomiting out on our family and our friends. Does that make sense? Okay. Who was the spouse that didn't come home late? Who came home late or didn't come home at all? Okay, so you have a spouse, didn't come home or came home late. Okay? Working this formula, what do we do? Anybody had one of these experiences?
Put 'em out.
Put them out. He said put them out. Well, that might be a little
Talk about it.
emotional.
Express yourself.
What?
Put his clothes at the door.
How about we put some
No,
new locks?
express yourself.
I think we should buy new locks, personally speaking. No.
Express how you feel about it.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation with the guy from Pluto. Yeah.
That's the first time he does it, that you put his stuff out, or you change the lock?
No.
Isn't that the time for the conversation to say, hey, that's
First time you talk
happening
about
Okay. No. Let's back that up. Ooh, child. Back it up. Let's back it up. I like you're going in the right place.
it. First-
She said, don't show up on time, or don't show up, or stay out all night, and we go, this ain't happening up in here. This is my house, and I don't roll like this. And no. Tell me how you feel someone coming up, this ain't working like this. How does that make you feel?
You don't tell me what to do, I'm wrong.
Huh? Defensive. What do you think the response is going to be?
Now, I wanna have a conversation, nice conversation, because this is what's gonna happen. If you continue to do this,
Yes.
then, cause you're not gonna want me to do it, you're not gonna want me to go stay out all night and come in.
Conversation.
And conversation.
Yes. And conversations must not have a finger in it. Don't you ever. These are not babies we're talking to. We are grown folk. You can't be to grown folk. Nor can you be aggressive, right? Hands on the hips, head swinging,
Yes.
whip appeal. That is not going to be well received.
Fighting words.
Those are some fighting words. This is Duke time. Because what we're trying to express is our value. And what we want is the result. And the result is for our partner to come home at an agreed upon time that works for both of us. Right? We don't want two angry people, one in each corner, and the referee going, go! And they all come in duking it out. That's not going to get us what we want. We want an agreed upon decision. Now, it's still a conversation, if you say, you know, I find it disrespectful because I value having you home early, I worry. You talk about your emotions then. You say, you know, it bothers me that when you're out late, I worry that something happened, you know? And if you've had a history of, what was the one with unfaithfulness, you say, as much as I know you agree that you're not going to be unfaithful to me, it sort of brings up those old feelings where you were unfaithful to me, and I don't like that feeling. So to help that out, let's agree upon a time where you'll be home that works for us. I'm a grown-ass man, you're telling me when I'm coming home. Well, I'm not really trying to tell you. I want us to come to a decision that works for both of us. And you go back, because what a lot of people do in those kind of conversations will deflect, which is they move away from the point. And you have to bring it back to the point. No, we really need to have a conversation about this. What will work for both of us? Keep in mind, conversations, one may not be a one-time around. It may not be solved once. You may have to have a series of conversations, because sometimes people are not ready to really have the full talk. Hey, if you're not ready right now, and don't take time of it when they're walking out the door in the morning, gotta get to work, we need to talk right now. No. When you get home, we're gonna talk. No, we don't wanna do that either, because it might not be coming home again, you know. You may want to deliver, hey, can you tell me when would be a good time for us to have a conversation? I have some things we need to discuss, right? And then you bring it up, and it may be once, twice, but always realize that it may not be the answer that you want. And you have to be in a place, not anger anymore, in a place where you're coming up with a plan that you're gonna follow up. So if your partner says, well, really, I'm not really concerned about coming home. I wanna come home when I wanna come home. And then you have to make a decision and a plan. Well, this is not the type of relationship I would like. And you communicate that, you know, when we got together, this was not the relationship I found attractive. You know, this was not what I wanted. So if that is your final decision, that you are not interested in coming home at a time that works for both of us, we really want to consider not moving forward with this relationship. And you have that conversation. Well, you can just take your stuff and just go. And no, it's a conversation. Something to consider, that if that's not something that you can do, we want to have the conversation about maybe moving forward and not having this type of relationship. Yes?
It all depends on your attitude towards the situation.
Attitude.
You know, somebody coming to work like you,
Yes.
the lady cussing you out of it, is your attitude, how you react.
Yeah.
So you have to keep a good attitude.
It's very important, and that's, attitudes comes from your thought process. So what did I think about? So what was I thinking about as I'm driving down the street, and this woman's side by side. And I'm driving like, I'm looking at the side, and really, my mind went to, what happened to her? That this morning, she woke up and it's only 7:50. I was perplexed. I didn't get angry again. I didn't follow up anger with anger. It's useless. Anger with anger is useless. I actually went to thinking, what could be going on in her life so early that she's so full of anger at that moment? And I started to pray. I prayed for her. I prayed that she'd get peaceful. I prayed for her to get to work safely, because with all the anger she had in her, she was just driving a hot mess. And I pray that she doesn't harm somebody. That's just my prayer.
You know, that's a good prayer, and I'm happy for you. But you know what? I feel like that to me, and I know all these people shooting in other
Yes.
people's cars to get them. How did you even not go there, knowing that she could have had a weapon?
Yeah,
And
that's
just, and, you know, she's still riding along with you, right? You know, I'm calling 911.
Yeah.
I'll let her know what kind of car she got,
yes.
and what kind of car I'm driving, in case they say,
But we're not supposed to text and drive, but what I did, it was a mile and a half we were turning. She was turning at the light in another direction and I was going another. But had she continued, I know that there was a gas station coming up, planning. I knew there was a gas station coming up and I was going to drive into the gas station in a public area and make that call. Yes. But I wasn't going to get out my car at the gas station when she followed me and tell her something necessary. I wasn't going to do that, you know. Now, I'll tell you a true story. This is the last one I gave you. I was at Jackson Memorial at the light at the Golden Glades interchange, and it was red, and there was a lot of traffic, and I was sitting there waiting for the light to change. The person behind me wanted me to turn into traffic. And I was like, I'm not doing that craziness. So I sat there quietly. They pulled out next to me, started the same craziness. Now y'all would go start thinking I'm a bad driver. No, I'm actually a really good driver. So they pulled up next to me, very angry, same violent behavior. And at that time, I did what I would not recommend anyone do. I rolled down the window because I couldn't understand what they were saying. It just didn't look, it looked crazy. And they threw a bottle and hit me in the mouth and split my lip open. And I have a scar still if you look close enough. Now, younger days, I got back in my car. I was in my car. They turned in front of me into the light. I chased them down. I followed them, started driving behind them like a mad woman, crazy. Because I was going to get them. I sure I didn't have a gun, I didn't have nothing, but I knew I was going to get those license plates and I was going to get them. So they started driving really fast and I'm here behind them. Now I turned into the crazy woman because I'm following them, weaving, and I called my fiance and I was like, do you know what happened to me? Now mind you, blood's running down my mouth and I couldn't care less. I wasn't even thinking that. I'm just going to get him. And I was so angry. I can't believe this. And he said, stop. He goes, I need you to stop right now. And the voice of reason came on, but I was in my anger state. I wasn't thinking that if they were going to throw something at me, what do you think they would do to me? Exactly. So that's what happens in anger. We stop thinking and we do crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And I'm telling you, I was in a crazy mindset and I was not thinking. And thank God I had at least a reason to call. Actually was trying to see if he'd come and cut him off, you know. And he just said, stop. And it reset me to go back to thinking and not just feeling. Yes, ma'am.
I don't own a gun for that same reason.
I feel you.
Who would have gotten it was my husband. I want him to get up and be okay the next day, but that's not how life is.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
I don't want to own a gun. I never did.
Yeah. You got to know yourself. And this is where I'm going to close with. You have to get to a place where you know yourself and know, somebody said the word, what are your triggers? And when you know those triggers are popping up, you need to get in your right mind and avoid them. The best thing to do with a trigger is to avoid it. Because that's why it's a trigger. Because once you're there, a trigger is automatic. It's just going to come out. So the best thing, if you know they've been treating you stank every time you go to this event, don't go. Don't go. If you don't feel good, don't go. If you know that store is racist and discriminatory and they don't treat you well, don't go. Avoid.
Yeah, but you know, I got another thing. In that case, what if it's family, outside, not your particular one,
Yeah.
and you know that every time you go there, something's gonna, they're gonna say, oh, your mouth
Yeah.
is gonna tell them, excuse me.
But you know that.
But no, yeah, that's true. But no, you get tired, when it happens every time, and you decide, I'm not going. But your better half is
Yeah.
want you to be, they want you to be there.
Okay.
But you already know what's gonna happen.
You know.
So, you stay away.
So you get to do this. You know when you go, it's drama. You've decided you're going. For whatever reason, peer pressure, whatever. You must have the conversation. Develop your plan of action. Maybe it's 2 or 3 people particularly in that family. Avoid them.
But if they're there. Okay, I'll tell you what. The room you're in is smaller than this room. It's hard to avoid. But you know what, I've been going lately, though.
Yes.
I haven't gone lately and just stay in my own space.
There you go. We get to control.
Yeah.
What I'm bringing today is a fine lesson. We get to control we.
Yes.
We get to control me.
Yes.
Even if you're in a box, you get to control this.
Your mind.
I refuse. I refuse to engage. I refuse. I refuse. Take back the power. Once you get angry, you've given it away. You get to decide.
Don't make any major decisions in minor situations.
In minor situation or in a state of anger. Never make a decision when you're angry.
A major decision.
Major, minor, don't make any decision in an emotional state of mind. Whether it's love, I love him, let's move it together and go to Atlanta and get married.
That's me.
Wait. Back it up, girlfriend. Did you do your background check? Did you check the bank accounts?
Yes.
Did you check if he was married?
Yes.
Did you see how many kids he has and whether he paid his child support? Okay? Back up the feelings. Okay? So decisions, you still own it. You still get to own it.
And the first thing is when they tell you you better do something, that's not the man you want.
Oh, no, man, no,
No
man.
man should ever tell you, oh, you better let me know where you at. You better let me come out.
But here's coming back to our anger, guys, I want to leave you with ownership. Own your feelings,
Yes.
but make sure you know your triggers, develop your plans for them. I strongly recommend avoidance so you never meet the angry wolf at the door. Okay? What you doing coming in here at this hour tonight? Girl, I can't do nothing for you, man, because that was not the best move. You wait for the morning. Calm, cool, collect, and you plan the conversation. Because you don't know what you might receive. Is he drunk? Is he high? Is he mad? You know, is he scared? Is he fearful that he knows he pissed you off? What are you going to get? And I say him, but it could also be her. You know? So make sure you're not acting when you're angry. And know what your triggers are so that you can plan for them, avoid them if possible. If there are people, places, and things that trigger you, you have 2 choices. Manage your emotions or avoid them. You get to choose. And I give it back to you. That's it. Thank you, guys.